Okay, good afternoon, everyone. And first, my thanks to all of you reporters who've attended this event on such short notice. I'm joined here today by Vito Beato, President of Unifor Local 1285. And as a lot of you probably know, Local 1285 represents thousands of workers across the Peel region, just outside of Toronto, including about 2,200 Unifor members employed at the Brampton Assembly Plant. As most of you will know, the Brampton plant, one of the most productive assembly plants in the Stellantis chain, had been slated to retool for Jeep production. That retooling process began back in January of 2024. In February of 2025, the company notified us that it was putting that retool plan on pause. On October 14th of that same year, with a mere 15 minutes notice, Stellantis notified us that it would move the future Jeep Compass production slated for Brampton to the United States, idling the plant indefinitely. Suffice it to say, these past years have been a difficult period for our members. Unprecedented uncertainty for them and their families, as well as thousands of workers across the local supply chain and the community of Brampton itself. Throughout this entire time, though, it's important to note, Stellantis has reiterated to us its commitment to Brampton and our members. But on Wednesday of this week, our union received information from Stellantis that it is now seriously considering the closure and sale of the Brampton Assembly Plant. I want to be clear here, and I need our members to understand this point. Stellantis has not provided our union with formal written notice of closure of the Brampton plant as required under our collective agreement. In fact, under the terms of our agreement, the company must provide us no less than 1 year's notice of any such closure or sale. What the company has indicated is its intent to open discussions with another firm about the potential sale of the plant. To say that we are disappointed would be an understatement. This is a gut punch to our union and to our members. Most importantly, to our members, the workers who have given everything to this plant. The Brampton Assembly Plant has been an economic anchor for the community of Brampton for generations, a driver of good union jobs, and a producer of the iconic Chrysler and Dodge brand vehicles. Our union has been unwavering in terms of our position around Brampton. Stellantis made a commitment to our members in 2023 contract negotiations, as well as to the federal and provincial governments, and indeed all Canadians, to build affordable next-generation Jeep Compasses right here in our country. That commitment was broken, and as Stellantis has seen, breaking commitments has consequences. And while we understand, by the way, we understand this better than anybody in this country, the economic challenges created by the U.S. tariffs. Other companies, I will point out, have chosen a different path. They have lived up to their commitments to the workers of Canada. We will continue to also push, and I want to be clear about this, for a federal auto policy that supports Canadian manufacturing, because what we have now is certainly not working, and we have been very clear about that. We will need to defend this sector and its workers with everything and every tool we have in this country. The irony here is that no one at this moment is building that Jeep that was promised to Vito and his members. A vehicle that would have employed thousands of Unifor members in Canada, along with thousands more American auto workers building its core components. Because that's how we build vehicles in North America, between our two countries. This has been a lose-lose scenario for workers on both sides of the border. I'm relaying this information publicly because, frankly, it's really important to do so. And most importantly, our members need and deserve to know what we are up against right now. And I want to make sure there's no misunderstanding of our union's concern. For 18 months, we have been doing everything possible to protect this industry and to protect auto workers in this country. There has been very little, and there is very little, comparable to a factory assembling vehicles from the ground up. There is hardly anything that delivers the same economic impact for a community or a region. And there is absolutely no replacement for high-paid union jobs developed under an auto sector collective agreement built up over 80 years. Believe me when I say this is not where I want it to be today, but we have been warning about this now for 18 long months. In the coming days, we will be having very tough conversations with company executives and every level of government. And while our union has not been a direct party to dialogue between Stellantis and government officials launched as a result of the company's breach of its commitment, that process has clearly failed to deliver an adequate result or outcome for the workers of Brampton. Our members can be assured, though, of one thing. We will use the opportunity of upcoming contract negotiations with Stellantis to discuss all of this with them. Because none of this, and I want to be clear, none of this is acceptable to our union, and nor will it be acceptable to our members. The workers of Brampton and this country deserve so much better. I now want to pass things over to Vito to have a few words, and then we'll answer your questions.
Thank you, Lana. As was mentioned, my name is Vito Beato, and I am president of Unifor Local 1285, representing over 8,000 workers in Brampton, Ontario. As Lana mentioned, the news that Stellantis shared with us in the past 48 hours was not news we wanted to hear. Myself, along with Local 1285 leadership team, have spent over 2 years trying to support our members in any way we can as we try to navigate a very complex and very long planned transition. To have had the plans we negotiated, plans that our members ratified in 2023 as part of their collective agreement, completely violated and dismissed by Stellantis, is beyond infuriating. I have a hard time putting my emotions into words, as all I think about is the best interest of our membership, their families, and their community. Our members have provided big, huge profits for this company for over 40 years. This is not their fault. They should not be collateral damage in a trade war as the company appeases the U.S. administration. Our plant is ready to go. Our members deserve to be back to work today, and the contract they ratified respected. As Lana said, the company has informed us that it is seriously considering the closure and sale of Brampton. Just saying those words out loud is like a bad, bad dream. Our members have been waiting for answers for 18 months with the hope that they get back to work building cars. I speak with them every day. I hear from their families. I hear from our retired members. I hear from our members in the supply chain. Talk with officials in the city of Brampton. Thousands and thousands of people waiting for answers. Only to be told that we may now be reaching the end of the line. Well, I can't accept that, and I won't accept that. And I know our President, Lana Payne, won't accept that. And our members won't accept that. Our members are too good at what they do, too proud of what they build, to let that all slip away. And I understand that this is a difficult situation that we are all in. Our federal officials are in Washington, as we speak, trying to find some resolution to this idiotic tariff dispute that has done nothing for anyone on either side of the border. So to give up on workers now is the wrong move. because these jobs are way too important to lose. The economic impacts of an auto assembly plant are unlike any other industry in the world, and is not good enough for our politicians or our employers to sell us out. I know this. As sure as I'm standing here today, this is not how the story ends for Brampton. You can mark my words. And like Lana, I look forward to discussing opportunities for our plant and a path back to vehicle production when we get to the bargaining table, because closure is not an option. Thank you.
Thank you, Vito. Okay. Any questions, folks? Go ahead.
My name is Ronald. I'm a Reuters reporter. So do you know any specific company that they're selling off the plant?
Yeah, you'll have to get that answer from Stellantis. We're not party to any negotiations or discussions they'd be having with a third party.
Okay. One more question. What kind of concession can Canada realistically offer to the U.S. auto sector in the current trade talk?
Well, first of all, we shouldn't be offering any concessions to the United States right now. The reality is the U.S. has imposed tariffs on Canada. We have retaliated by having counter tariffs in the auto sector specifically. And by doing that, we created leverage for ourselves in these discussions with the U.S. right now. So it's really important that Canada actually doesn't get into a situation where we're giving concessions. We have a lot in this country that the U.S. needs. They rely on energy from Canada. They rely on potash from Canada. They rely on aluminum for Canada. And the rationale of being able to have access to their market, to build cars here and then sell them to the United States, is that we also give them a lot of things so that they can build and have a manufacturing sector in the U.S. too. And for 60 years, that is the way we have operated together. And now we have a president of the United States who would like to do things differently. The reality is the only way we work through that is to show the U.S. we actually have a common problem here. Canada is not the problem in this trade war. We have been ceding ground in our market, a $100 billion auto market, to importers from all over the world who don't contribute one penny to jobs in Canada, to building up the manufacturing footprint in Canada, and the U.S. faces the same problem. Let's work on that together rather than the situation that we have right now, which is attacking Canadian workers, attacking the Canadian industrial economy, and attacking our country itself. And that's what the Canadian government needs to do in these negotiations with the U.S. They have to be firm. But honestly, we have seen that the concessions that we have given already, whether it's the digital services tax, whether it is, the discussions now on the Online Streaming Act, whether it's the discussions around the Gordie Howe Bridge, none of that has led to a place where we have been able to get the tariffs lifted. So if we don't get a deal by August 19th, there is only one path for Canada in these trade talks, and that is to retaliate, and to retaliate hard against these unjustified tariffs that we're currently facing.
So one last question from me. So Canada, could accept the lower auto tariff in return of the removing retaliatory tariff on the U.S. auto sector. Is that something that the auto sector union would agree to?
We've been very clear about what our red line is. This is not an industry that should be subjected to tariffs from the United States. Our trade in auto is completely balanced with the U.S. Canada is not the problem. And if we're in a bilateral discussion now with the U.S., then the solution should be no tariffs on the auto industry. David.
Hi, Lana. Vito. Couple quick questions in
Vito
terms of.
or?
Oh, sorry,
Yeah.
Either of you. But just in terms of timeline on this, what has Stellantis provided you on how long you have to work something out?
No timeline here. They're having discussions with a third party over the sale, and that's the extent of what we know right now.
Right, and that's a single third party?
I think so, yes.
Okay. Do you know if they're an automaker or someone else?
You'll have to ask Stellantis that, but if we were looking at having an auto plant there, I probably wouldn't be as upset right now.
Okay. So suffice to say that there's no avenue here for retaining the workforce if a sale were to go through.
Not producing cars in the context that we've heard right now, no.
Okay. That's all I have for you.
Great, thank you. Okay.
Hi, Walter from City News.
Hi,
I
Walter.
have two questions. My first question is, what's going to happen to those employees that were earning partial pay?
Well, we're about to enter negotiations with Stellantis, so we'll figure out all of that at the bargaining table. Currently, Vito can speak to this, but we have all of our members would be on income security that was negotiated through our collective bargaining in 2023, and obviously that'll be part of our negotiations when we meet with them in a few weeks.
And my last question is, have you sat down with Rochnell, the defense manufacturer?
I have not. Okay, thanks very much. Appreciate your time on a Friday afternoon.